Level 1. The curious. You've heard about it. Everyone has. The part of the internet they don't teach you about. The place where anything can be bought. Where identities are sold like groceries. Where governments lose control and criminals build empires. So one night, you download Tor. It takes 4 minutes. It's free. The browser looks almost normal, except everything loads slower, like the internet is thinking twice before letting you in. You find a directory, a list of onion links, addresses that don't exist on Google, don't exist on Safari, don't exist anywhere that normal people look. You click one, it loads. It looks exactly like Amazon. There are categories. There are product listings. There are seller ratings and customer reviews and bulk discount offers. Someone has left a 5-star review on a listing for stolen credit card details. Fast delivery. Card worked first try. Will order again. You close the browser. You sit in the dark for a moment. You just looked through a window into an economy that generates an estimated $1.5 billion a year, and it looked exactly like shopping. That's the point. Level 2. The buyer. You come back. Maybe it starts small. Someone on a forum tells you that you can get a Netflix account with a full subscription for 50 cents. You pay. It works. The account belonged to a family in Ohio. You watch their saved shows. You don't think about that too hard. Then it escalates. A credit card with a $5,000 balance costs $110. A complete identity name, address, social security number, date of birth, mother's maiden name. That's called a fulls. It costs between $50 and $200, depending on the credit score attached to it. A person's entire financial life, priced cheaper than a dinner out. You're not a criminal, you tell yourself. You're just a customer. The market already exists. You didn't build it. But here's what the market knows that you don't yet. Every buyer is also a data point. The moment you made your first transaction, your IP was logged not by law enforcement, but by the seller. Your purchasing patterns are being studied. Your crypto wallet address is being tracked. You think you're anonymous. You're not. You're the newest node in a network that has been running longer than you've been paying attention. You're not just a customer. You're inventory. Level 3. The vendor. You've been buying for 6 months. You understand how the markets work. The rating system, the escrow payments, the PGP encryption on every message. The way trust is built through transaction history. So you decide to sell. It starts with what you have access to. Maybe you work in retail and you skim card data. Maybe you write basic phishing pages, fake bank login screens, and send them to email lists you bought for $20. The credentials pour in, hundreds of them. You list them in batches. The marketplace takes a commission, usually 2 to 5%. The rest is yours, deposited in Monero, not Bitcoin. Because Monero is untraceable, and Bitcoin, despite what people think, absolutely is not. Your reputation grows with your feedback score. You offer refunds on dead cards. You respond to customer messages within the hour. You are professional. You are reliable. You are building a brand inside an economy that has no laws but enforces its own standards with brutal efficiency. A vendor who scams buyers gets flagged, gets blacklisted, gets doxxed by the community, and sometimes worse. The dark web doesn't have courts. It has reputation, and reputation here is enforced by people who don't hesitate. You make $3,000 your first month, then $8,000, then $15,000. You stop thinking about the people whose data you're selling. That's a luxury you can't afford anymore. Level 4. The specialist. The general market is crowded. Every stolen card, every leaked password, every recycled identity, there are 1,000 vendors selling the same thing. Margins shrink. Competition is brutal. To survive, you specialize. Maybe you become an initial access broker. You don't steal data. You sell doors. You spend weeks identifying vulnerabilities in corporate networks. You exploit one, a law firm in Chicago, a hospital in Germany, a logistics company in Singapore. You get inside. You verify the access is real, that you have domain admin privileges, that the network is valuable. Then you list it on a forum, corporate network, Access U.S. law firm, 200 employees, full domain admin. Starting bid, $3,500. Ransomware groups buy your listing within 48 hours. They don't need to find the vulnerability themselves. They just need the door. You provided the door. What they do inside is not your business. Except it is. Because the hospital network you sold last month, the one you thought was just data, turned out to run the oncology ward's treatment scheduling system. When the ransomware group locked it down and demanded $2 million, 3 patients had their chemotherapy delayed by 11 days. You read about it in the news. You closed the tab. You have 4 other listings active. Level 5. The operator. You run a marketplace now. Not a listing on someone else's platform, your own platform. This is infrastructure. This is the dark web equivalent of building Amazon. You have a development team, 3 coders you've never met in person, hired through encrypted channels, paid in crypto. You have a moderation team that reviews vendor applications and removes scammers. You have a dispute resolution system. You have an escrow wallet that holds millions of dollars at any given moment. Your market does $40 million in transactions annually. You take 3%. You make $1.2 million a year, running what is, functionally, an e-commerce platform, one that sells methamphetamine, exploit kits, counterfeit documents, and stolen corporate credentials. The operational security is extreme. You communicate through a messaging system that destroys messages after they're read. You never use the same device twice. Your servers are hosted across 6 countries, none of which cooperate with U.S. law enforcement extradition requests. But you know what brought down every major market before yours. Not technical failure, not a hack. People. The administrator of Silk Road got caught because he posted his personal email on a public forum years before the site launched. Alphabet's founder left a customer service email address that was registered to his real name. Your greatest threat isn't the FBI. It's yourself. It's a moment of carelessness. A single human error in an inhuman system. You haven't slept more than 5 hours in 2 years. Level 6. The ghost. You don't operate the market anymore. You own it. There's a difference. Operating means you touch it, you manage it, you're exposed to it. Owning means you receive a percentage, and your name appears nowhere, not on the code, not on the servers, not in the communications. You are 3 layers removed from every transaction. You have a legitimate life now, or something that looks like one. You own a consulting firm registered in Estonia. You have clients, real ones, who pay real invoices. The income from the dark web flows through a crypto mixing service, surfaces in a DeFi protocol in the Cayman Islands, and lands in your consulting firm's account as digital asset management fees. You pay taxes on it. That's not irony. That's strategy. Al Capone went to prison for tax evasion, not murder. You are not Al Capone. You studied his mistakes. The DEA has your username in a database. They don't have your face. They don't have your name. They have a pattern of transactions attached to a wallet address, attached to a server that used to exist in Moldova before it was wiped and relocated. You are a ghost in an economy that moves $25 billion in crypto transactions annually. Finding you is not a needle in a haystack. It's a needle in a field of haystacks, the size of a country. You think you're safe. Everyone at this level thinks they're safe. Level 7. The architect. You don't run one operation. You run the ecosystem. Your network includes 3 active platforms, 2 cyber threat groups operating on a franchise model they use. Your infrastructure, pay you 20%, handle their own targets, a data collection operation pulling 50,000 new records a week, and a financial routing pipeline that has processed over $200 million in the past 4 years. You employ, indirectly, over 200 people. They don't know they work for you. They work for one piece of the network. No one person sees the whole picture. That's architecture. That's how you survive. You also have relationships with foreign state actors. Not employment-negotiated coexistence. A group operating out of Eastern Europe agrees not to target your infrastructure. In exchange, you share data compilations that happen to include sensitive contractor credentials. You never call it what it is. It has no name. It's just an understanding between people who understand each other. You have crossed a line that has no visible marker. You are no longer someone running a business in the shadows. You are an institution, a piece of the internet's infrastructure, hidden and invisible and load-bearing in ways that governments are only beginning to map. Your daughter is 7 years old. She thinks you work in technology. She's not wrong. Level 8. The Reckoning. They don't kick the door in. That's the movies. What actually happens is quieter and slower and more total. A joint operation between the FBI, Europol, and the Dutch National Police has been running for 26 months. They didn't try to break your encryption. They followed the humans. A coder on your development team used a VPN that logged traffic. A courier made 3 transfers from the same cafe in Rotterdam. A forum moderator reused a username from 2014. Thread by thread, the architecture unravels. Your accounts are frozen across 6 countries simultaneously. A coordinated action designed so there's no time to move assets. $47 million in digital currency seized in a single morning. Your consulting firm's bank accounts locked. Your real name, attached to a shell company in Cyprus, surfaced in leaked incorporation documents 18 months ago. An analyst in The Hague recognized the pattern. You are arrested in an airport in Dubai, extradited, indicted on 89 counts across 3 jurisdictions. The underground economy doesn't pause for your arrest. Your platforms are seized and replaced within weeks. Your cyber franchises find new infrastructure. The data pipeline reroutes. The ecosystem you built absorbs your removal like water closing over a stone. At your sentencing, the prosecutor calls it the most sophisticated, illicit digital operation ever prosecuted in the Western world. You get 40 years. Somewhere tonight, a 19-year-old downloads an anonymous browser for the first time. It takes 4 minutes. It's free, and the whole cycle begins again. This is not chaos. This is a $1.5 billion economy with supply chains, customer service, competitive pricing, and organizational hierarchies as complex as any Fortune 500 company. The only difference is it lives in the 0.01% of the internet that most people will never see, and it is running right now, underneath everything, invisible and enormous and completely unstoppable.